Hello, this is Kate from the Ordinary Earth Song. I hope you're all well. I thought I would do a reading, actually, because I've been focusing a lot on what's been going on with me. I thought it would be quite nice to focus on what's been going on with you and see whether or not I can do a collective reading. Well, it should be interesting considering the doubts I've had in the past few days. So I thought I'd start with this tarot deck. Now I'm going to do this quite intuitively, but if needs be, I will refer to the book if I need to. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. I'm doing this because I love this deck. This is the Star Child Tarot, Akashic version, and it is by, there's the book. Who's it by? Danielle Noel. 79 card deck explores the ancient traditions of the tarot through a multi-dimensional journey of consciousness and awakening. Fantastic. Okay, I'll put the book there just in case. But I just wanted to basically give this a go. See what comes out. Now, I've done quite a lot of meditating today. I've been to work. It is Monday. What day is it? It's Tuesday. And it is 5:55. I've been into the office today. And on my way into the office, I meditated on the train. I find meditating whilst you're moving on a train to be quite an interesting experience, actually. Like, you're surrounded by, if you go in, particularly at like rush hour, which in London is between, I think, I got on the train at 7:45. It looks pretty damn busy, so it must have started maybe at 7:30. And it goes right on until 9, I guess 9. You try and get a train between 7:30 and 9, Monday to Friday. You're going to be on a busy train, believe me. Luckily, I don't have to go on the London Underground for the specific destination I went to today. Oh, this is interesting already. These cards flipped. So we've got Akashic Records already. Akashic Records. We have the Three of Swords. And I love these cards, they're so beautiful. And we have the Eight of Crystals. Fantastic. So just from these three cards, I'm going to do a collective reading. I'm going to include myself in this reading because these messages are shared, right? And I would like them to be relevant for as many people as watch this. I mean, it's going to be relevant for whoever watches this. Akashic Records is all about looking into your life, or lives. It's about who you are, who you've been, who is the whole you, and what story exists within that. I want to say lineage, which is an interesting word actually, because time doesn't exist. And if you think about past lives, they're all happening at the same time. So it's not really a past life. They're just other lives that your soul may have lived, that you're connected to. You might have memories of them even. But there's this thing called the Akashic record, which I'm sure a lot of people know about now. Well, I didn't know anything about it until about 1.5 years ago. I was like, ooh, what's that? Fascinating. And the Akashic record is the record of your lives, the lives that you're connected to. So in a sense, it's a record of all the... that's a good point. That's just occurred to me. It's a record of all the potentials that are in source that have been expressed within an experiential means. Because we're all experiencing the potential that is in the essence of source. So the Akashic record would be a record of all of that potential. So actually the Akashic record is source. Is that true? It feels like a truth. It feels like an honest thing. So is this suggesting delving into those elements of source? Is it and the Akashic and the record that is of all things, but that you are specifically linked to, that you have memories of, or that you have connections to within this life? So I'm piecing this all together as an understanding, I guess. I've tried to go to the Akashic records, and I have been there, and, but it's somewhere that is still a bit of a mystery to me. I probably need to go back and explore that as an option to understand myself better, but I've never really successfully gone to the Akashic and then specifically had kind of knowings that have come out of it. I have the impression from other experiences of other lives that I've had, but not from the Akashic, but from other experiences that I've had. So I wonder if that's linked to the Akashic record. But I've got a feeling this is to do with... This card has come out because it's about connecting to elements of yourself that may be hidden in this life. Elements of yourself, like elements. I've realised diverting here. I've realised in the recordings that I'm making that I have a tendency to blur or slur words one into another. I listen to myself back and I'm just like, oh my god, how can anyone understand what I'm saying there? Because I've merged two words together. So I'm going to try not to do that. But I can't help it if it happens. If it does happen, I will try to re-say what I was trying to say. Going back. So yes, this feels like it's here because over the past few days there's been a lot about, for me personally, I don't know about anybody else, but there's been a lot about learning about yourself, learning about what makes you tick, what do you resonate with, who are you exactly, what parts of you are actually here on earth right now that need to be expressed, that are being hidden. And it's like you can go to the Akashic records to reveal those parts of yourself. It's about revealing those parts of yourself. And here, look, this feels like It's in her solar plexus, but it's like a chi. It feels like a chi ball of energy, but it also looks like the moon. Look at that. It looks like the moon she's holding. 3 of Swords. That's a fire element. Swords. No, it's not. That's Wands. So fire is air, right? Air is to do with intuition. And so is the moon. Use your intuition to learn about yourself. And you will find this feels like she's, again, these look like balls of energy. 8 of Crystals. It's like she's looking into the distance and she's got light coming out the top of her head here. So she's connecting. And I want to say she's realising the potential here. I will have a quick look in the book, actually, just to see. 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords. Oh, look, there's the Akashic. The Akashic Records represents an energetic matrix, an imprint of every emotion, action, thought, word, and experience that has ever taken place throughout our conceivable universe. Oh my God, that's exactly what I said. In more coherent words. Historically, it has been described as a living library, great etheric space, or collection of mystical knowledge. It connects to the limitless potentials that exist before us in all linear and non-linear directions, as well as the history of our past incarnations and soul experiences. But that's not just... So for me, that's not just one experience. It's not like this is your lineage, this is everybody's lineage, and you can tap in. That's what it feels like to me. I'm going to stick to that because that's what it feels like to me right now. 3 of Swords, and you can disagree, which is great. Go ahead. Oh gosh, 3 of Swords. Look at that. Heartbreak. Obstacles. Heartbreak and obstacles. She does look pretty sad. Where are the obstacles? But she does look pretty sad. Redirection of negative forces, sacrifice, loss, learning and healing. Okay. It still feels like this is a potential. This is, maybe that's the nurturing. That's what I'm picking up is the nurturing side of it, because everything you nurture has the potential. Because you're nurturing it, you're developing it. This, like it says, this is a more ominous card than most. The 3 of Swords often reflects moments of loss, pain, betrayal and heartache. Although the presence of these obstacles may feel overwhelming, very often a greater lesson will transform out of the darkness. From these experiences comes the clarity of potential to create new opportunities. Oh, I love that word, potential. It's one of my favourite words. You might have noticed I use it a lot. From these experiences comes the clarity and potential to create new opportunities. This goes to a reading I did. I just had this in another reading. You have to go through those moments of pain and doubt and kind of challenges. You have to go through challenges to kind of come out the other side. And it's like you have to feel the emotions of overwhelm. You have to feel the challenge. You have to feel the opposite of like joy. You know, you have to have that kind of, it's the duality principle, I think, where you have to experience one to come out the other and really experience and understand and appreciate the other. So what I mean by one is like you have to experience loss, pain, betrayal and heartache so that you can then realise what's causing those things to reach a greater lesson for yourself. You have to, it's kind of like that's the kind of principle that we exist in. We exist in this principle of duality, of experiencing these moments where we have the choice. We experience the challenge, but we have the choice after the challenge of either losing ourselves to, I guess, that feeling of kind of overwhelm. You have the choice of feeling depressed and sad and like you don't want to do that again. I don't want to repeat that thing. You want to avoid it as much as possible, and then you can hide away, or you can sort of go down a path where you'll hide yourself. You can feel self-doubt and all that stuff. You have the choice. You can stay there for as long as you feel necessary, but you also have the choice to come out the other end and actually look at it and observe it and see what's happening and really understand and notice and do something with that experience and that information, because it's telling you something about yourself, which kind of actually ties into the Akashic record. Because it's telling you something about yourself, it's revealing a part of you that was hidden, or it's the thing that's making you feel those emotions. It's the thing that may be hidden would be hidden potentially behind the shadow. And the more we ignore it, or the more we just try to avoid it or avert ourselves from it or whatever, the more we're not recognizing the cause. And that's the shadow hides, hidden in the shadows. If it's in the shadow, we have this sense of ability to avoid it, but we really can't, right? There's no avoiding something that we're trying to ignore, because it will just keep coming back and slapping us on the face. Hello, you're gonna carry on feeling this feeling until you think about why you're feeling it. Figure it out. And you can go into the Akashic. You can go into the Akashic. You can go into that realization of the whole self, that realization of these elements within you that are hidden by your shadow. But the more you shed light on it, the more you reveal it to yourself, the more able you are to not face it, but come out the other side. You can face it for sure. You can be like, you know what? That experience can do one. It's in the past, whatever. It's done. I've had that experience. It sucked ass. I'm going to move on. But from that experience, I'm taking this knowledge and understanding with me. And once I've taken that with me, it's in my pocket. I've got that in my pocket. And I've got these things in my pocket now. I understand those bits of my shadow in my pocket. Because you can't get rid of your shadow, but you can make friends with it. And the more you make friends with it, the more things you have in your pocket, the more things you understand about yourself. And you know, and you can start realizing, yeah, that thing, I need to let go of that. That thing triggered me. And triggers are useful because they really do reveal those parts of yourself that you're trying to hide, or that your shadow is hiding from you as a form of protection. That's basically what the shadow does. It tries to protect you by hiding things about yourself from yourself, because it's like, if you don't realise that, if you don't fully see it, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So it's in the shadows, it's fine. You can just see all these other things that are in the light right now. Those things are more important. These things in the shadows don't really matter all that much. So, but then when you experience things like loss, pain, betrayal and heartache, if you don't reveal light to them, then they're going to draw out things from the shadow that you didn't know were there, because they're in the shadow, right? They're in the shadow, and it becomes more painful. You're less able to deal with it. Does that make sense? It does make sense. It makes sense to me. So something can come along and like all of a sudden you've experienced a loss. Someone's betrayed you. Someone has let you down, or done something that you weren't expecting them to do, and you react to that thing in a certain way that maybe takes you by surprise, or maybe just brings out this emotion that you didn't know was there. And all of a sudden you're angry, or all of a sudden you're overwhelmed and stressed and upset, and you can't stop that feeling. And that's something coming out of your shadow that you didn't know was there. The more light you reveal, that you shine on those things, the more you integrate, accept, see, observe, witness, the more you bring those things to light, the more understanding you can give them, and the more of ability you have to say, you know what, that was something I went through, that was part of me. And yes, that makes me now feel this way now. It makes me feel angry or stressed or overwhelmed or fearful or, hopeless. But is that actually the truth of this situation? Or is it just overblowing this situation into something that it isn't? And if it is overblowing that something into something that it isn't, is it possible to let that go? Is it possible to just go, oh, okay, I recognise where this is coming from, and maybe that's not me, or maybe that's not how I want to respond, or maybe that's actually not resonating with me anymore. I want to let that go. I want to let that experience be in my past and be something that, yes, happened, but that is no longer relevant. So something about relevance there. Is it relevant anymore? 8 of crystals. Now I believe these crystals cups in this deck. No, it's pentacles. That's earth energy. Eight of crystals, that's this lovely card here. Perseverance, ingenuity, spiritual growth and education. So actually, this alignment with the Akashic record is these two things combined. It's experiencing this potentially negative energy, but alongside the opposite, alongside that perseverance, ingenuity, spiritual growth and education. if you merge those two, merge them, you become your whole self. That feels right. Perseverance. Let's see what this says. The exploration and discovery of a new task, project or venture is on the horizon. Okay. It's given a prediction, and fantastic. I mean, exploration and discovery of a new task or project or venture is on the horizon. We all have the potential of a new project and a new venture. But are we going to let something hold us back? Are we going to let this hold us back? This dejection, this loss, this sadness? Or are we going to learn? Because we can learn from these feelings. And the more we learn from them and persevere with them, the more growth we experience. And the more complete we feel. Let's see what else comes out. Is there anything else? I'm going to shuffle you 3 more times. Could something else come out? If there is another message in these cards, could something else please come out? And if nothing comes out in these cards, 1 more shuffle. Nothing, okay. So, interesting. So that was a message about recognizing something about yourself. So today, if I was going to give you an example or a story, today I was at work and I was at work. I went into the office. I don't like going into the office. I don't like travelling into work when there's no reason to. But there was a reason to today, because the team was going to be in the office, and it was going to be one of those opportunities for us to get together and sit down and have a chat. I got to the office. There was no one there. Well, there was loads of people there. There was nowhere to sit, so I ended up sitting in the breakout area. But none of my team were there. And I was like, okay, so I'll give them time to turn up. Didn't turn up. So I was like, oh my gosh. It agitated me. It made me a bit out of sorts. Anyway, I got a chance to see some other people, which was fantastic, and got a bit of work done. But then I started feeling really out of sorts and kind of discombobulated about the fact that I turned up to the office when I didn't want to. But I turned up to the office and nobody else was there. And it took me back to a time when I worked with the same team. It was different people, but it was the team that I'm now in. And this was about 8 years ago. I turned up to that team and they basically wanted me to be there because I was helping them out with some stuff. So I turned up. They showed me the computer I was going to be working on, so I logged onto that computer. It was all great, and they were like, oh, we're going to go for a run. So I was like, okay. So they all left. About half an hour after I turned up, they all left. They went for a run. An hour later, they come back. They all showered and stuff, so they weren't, they'd had a shower and whatnot. So I was like, okay, great, they're back. We're going to get some work done. Nope. They went to lunch. They went to lunch after spending an hour going for a run. They were then gone for another hour and a half for lunch. I was like, what work do these people do? And I wasn't invited. They didn't know me. That's absolutely fine. I don't think I'd want to go to lunch with them. Anyway, they went to lunch for an hour and a half. They eventually came back. About 10 minutes after they came back, they were like, we're going for a meeting. So again, they went off. So I left. I was just like, well, I don't know why I'm here. And I left. And I had different people, but I had the exact same feeling today. That I had that sort of ghosted feeling of, they've said they were going to be here, they're not here, and I'm wasting my time. I don't get a lot done when I'm in the office because there's nowhere to sit, there's no desks to sit at. You have to sit in the breakout area on your laptop. Your laptop's tiny because it's a Surface Pro. It's not a real laptop, and even the laptops aren't any bigger than a Surface Pro. And I was getting frustrated, so I was just like, I'm going to go home. So I went home. I logged on, and when I got home, did some meetings, did some work, blah, 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 all good. But after I got home, I realised I was quite upset. I was really quite upset by the whole experience, because it really took me back to that first experience with the team. Not this team, not these specific people, but the team of people that existed back 8 years ago. So I was like, no, I need to figure out what's going on here. My emotions are all over the place. So I was asked, I was told to, or it was suggested that I write down what I was feeling. So I got my pad. This is my pad. I ripped out a bit of this paper and I wrote on there the way I was feeling. And I wrote it down. I was like, I'm angry. I feel ghosted. I feel let down. I feel like I've been taken back to the past. I feel like this and I feel like that and blah, blah, blah. I wrote it all down. And then I burnt it. I burnt that bit of paper with the intention of letting those feelings go. Releasing them. And then once I'd done that, and as the paper burnt, I kept repeating, I'm releasing these feelings to the fire. And then I lit a incense stick, a lovely vanilla and whatever it is incense stick. So I'm lighting this with the intention to bring love, joy and hope into my day. Fantastic. And it worked. And it was beautiful. And I've done this, and I'm telling you this now because it feels like it ties in, it feels like it's relevant. Because I've done this before, once before. I had to write it was a course that I was doing. You had to write a whole long list of all the things about yourself that you would consider to be negative. All the things about yourself that you would like to let go of. All the things about yourself that you would say about yourself in your head, the horrible things, you're useless, you're worthless, you're self-pitying, you're blah, 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 really harsh stuff. And then you were supposed to take it out into the garden, that sheet of paper, and burn it. And the instructions were, if it didn't burn, then you weren't ready to let it go. So I am ready to let this go. I am so ready. And I took it out into the garden, A4 sheet of paper, and I set fire to it. And it wouldn't burn. And I was like, no way. I am ready to let this go. So I set fire to it again, and I watched it, and it almost went out, and I went, no. I am ready to let you go. You will burn. And it went, phoom, burn. I was like, yes. And it really helped me let go of some of those feelings. And it also helped me recognise what those feelings were. It helped me recognise those feelings, and it helped me recognise that I was ready to let it go, and I was determined enough to say, I'm not accepting the fact that you're not burning. I could have gone, oh, you're not burning, I'm clearly not ready to let you go, I'm going to put you back in the book and hope that one day I remember that I'm going to burn you. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get rid of those feelings there and then, and I did. And it just feels like that is tied in with this message, because it's about perseverance. It's about recognising these elements of yourself honestly writing them down, seeing them, recognizing, understanding where they come from, understanding that even if it then seems stupid or over embellished or whatever, that's how you're feeling at that time. And then it's okay to let them go. And whatever way you want to let them go. I mean, fire is not always a good idea, especially indoors. You know, really not a good idea indoors. Do it in the garden, away from any kind of burny things. Preferably, you know, be safe, basically. But that's speaking about perseverance. And then this is speaking about really diving in. It feels like diving in to the whole self. This and this, and then this on top of that. Lovely. That's a complete experience. Was there any other cards that may help clarify this message? Oh, really? Okay, that's unusual. I don't know. Tree Keeper's Oracle by Angie Sullins. Now, these are gorgeous cards. They're not so much fairies as just tree keepers, tree elementals. These are really shiny cards, so I'm hoping the light isn't going to be completely awful. Okay, now I love these cards, they are beautiful, but this is a strange choice, but we'll see. Okay. I didn't even finish the sentence. Keeper of Shift. Look at that card. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the artwork in that, it's so intricate. Keeper of Shift. Shifting. Changing attitudes. Shifting where you were into where and the potential of who you can be. Lovely. Let's see. Are there any other cards? Because that one came out super fast. Again, I'm going to shuffle you 3 times. So let me know any other cards can just pop out if there's another message from this deck. Okay? Because that one just literally flew out. And doesn't look like that's the only card. Shifting into the Akashic, shifting into the whole self, shifting away from loss and bereavement and negative feelings and into perseverance, understanding yourself and feeling whole and going on that journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth and really aligning with yourself, and then shifting into the Akashic record from those experiences. That's what it feels like. Number 10. Tree keepers knew that nature shakes it up, storms clean, winds resuscitate, but they also knew you could be your own storm. Monotony, boredom, inertia, these are anathema to your experience. Do something different, take a different route, think a different thought, listen to a new station, radio I presume, on your digital mix or in your own head. Shake up the energy, be your own storm. Your butterfly effect can be dazzling. Oh, lovely. Oh, okay. So the more you do this, the more you shift into this, the more you'll affect others. You'll encourage other people to do the same things for themselves, and that can only be a beautiful thing, right? That can only be a beautiful thing. How marvellous. Thank you. Is there anything else? So this has been 40 minutes with 4 cards. I think that's probably long enough. I'm not seeing any other decks that I'm supposed to use right now. Nothing's popping out. But no, thank you very much for that. That was confirmation and a beautiful message. That message of recognising these negative parts of yourself, recognising them, almost embracing them, recognising them, writing them down like I did. Write them down, really see them, release them, persevere, go on that learning curve, go on that spiritual journey, find out things about yourself, explore, become aware of who you are. And as you shift in this most beautiful way, let's move that a bit closer, in this most beautiful way, as you shift, let's see what happens if I do that. That's too big now, it's a bit much, isn't it? As you shift in that most beautiful way, you will not only brighten up your own life, but those of the people around you. I love that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I really am discovering that I'm finding it very difficult to speak. I said weeding. It's reading with an R. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, if you have, and there will be another one at some point in the future. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.